what happened looking downfield, so just assuming he got hit in the head or something, just asking guys. That's what we thought, and so you're a little nervous about that. And then when he got to the sideline, they quickly told me it was a stinger, and when stingers happen, you never know how long that'll take. Sometimes they take throughout the week, sometimes they take a couple minutes, and so we had to continue to drive, so you're trying to call plays, get ready for Sam, and then I got told a few plays later Brock was good to go, so left pretty fast.
Did he get evaluated for concussion?
I don't know. They took him into the tent. I'm sure they would have, but ended up being a stinger.
Any idea on the severity of Demo, or was that just because you were at the end?
No, it was at the end. I mean, not sure. He got stepped on. So I mean, he's sore there. We'll have to look at it tomorrow. I'm not sure about the ankle, and that's it.
Charvarius is coming right now.
Obviously, Christian, maybe a rundown of things to say about him. But like a game like that today, he keeps joining, history, moving up the ranks and stuff. What has he meant to this team this year in particular?
I mean, it means so much just 'cause how good of a football player he is. I think that's the most obvious answer I could give. Everyone sees it, and it's when he touches the ball, when he doesn't have the ball. Jeez, bro. When he's blocking, when just carrying out his fakes, everything. The type of guy he's been, the way he works, the way he prepares, how well he takes care of his body throughout the entire offseason, throughout every single day. So he's as committed to his job as any person I've ever been around, and he's also one of the best players I've ever been around.
Kyle, he's talked about how upset he was about missing games last couple years with the Panthers, and how even when you guys traded for him, he was intent on playing in that first game against the Chiefs. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but that was part of it. He wanted to not miss games. Do you remember that? I know you talked about that conversation where you told John afterwards, like, okay, sounds like he's playing. What was, do you remember kind of what his message was to you about wanting to play that game?
I mean, then he just wanted to play in the game. I know what you're getting at, but I mean, that's how he feels every single week. And Christian, I mean, when you have some tough injuries, and the way he came out in his career, and I might mess this up, but I mean, he was unbelievable. I think his rookie year, and he had some tough injuries. But he's the first one to, if I ever insinuate that, he'll bite my head off and explain exactly why it happened, when it happened. He'll say it has nothing to do with wear and tear. I did it in the first month of a season. I did it right on this. It was because this guy hit me in this spot, and like he is. And so don't insinuate that to him. And that's what's cool about him. I mean, he wants to prove everybody wrong all the time, and he's usually right. So it's good for him.
How was the significance of the division title?
I mean, our number one goal was to get in the playoffs, and we got that last week. Winning this division, getting it last year, getting it this year. I mean, it's huge. It's we just want to get in the playoffs. When you win your division, it's a much better road in the playoffs, and I know the guys were pumped about it. But now our biggest thing is making sure we got 2 home games and trying to get a bye. So that's what we're focused on now.
Whether it's accuracy, creating plays out of structure, pushing the ball down the field, what do you think Brock's the best trait for your offense is? Like, what trait of his helps take your offense to another level?
That he can see the whole field. There's nothing that he can't do. He has a poise out there. He can see it. He can react. When he doesn't have the time for stuff, he reacts and finds a way to get it to just a check down, try not to take a sack, or he creates and can get someone off schedule. He's had great command of our offense and just running it, but also the amount of plays he makes throughout these 2 years has been as many plays of any quarterback I've ever been around on how much he does. So he's been a stud.
How cool was it to watch him do this in front of his family and friends, and then he leaves with the injury, and there's literally Purdy chants echoing throughout the stadium, and you're away.
Yeah, I bet that was real cool for him. I mean, just at the end of the game when, it was there at the end, it was a few scores, and to be able to hear that, it was cool for me to hear it for him. I know he's got a lot of family out here. Didn't even realize it till these last couple of days. You just get caught up in how the week is, but when he told me he had some guys coming, it's always cooler when you can play like that, and especially with the scare with the injury, but to finish the game with people chanting your name in the stands is about as cool as it can get.
Kyle Charvarius has been saying for a few weeks now that, wait till what happens when I turn those deflections into interceptions. In what ways has he maybe taken his game to another level this year? Like, what have you seen?
Him all week, from his injury last week, just be battling to get back for this game. I was impressed with that. I didn't, considered him a long shot early in the week, and he kept saying he wasn't. And then the way he did it, got out there on Friday and was good to go. Was so cool of him. I think he's not hesitating on anything. He's running through the ball. He's getting his hands up. Usually that's the first step in knocking balls down, which he does as good as anyone on the planet right now. And that's cool because he says it, but when you knock that many balls down, running through them, eventually you're going to try to catch a couple. And today was the first time I really saw him try to do that, and he did it early in the game and got that pick six. And then the next one that went to him was just like, looks like they stick to his hands now. So that was cool to kind of do that first one, and hopefully there'll be many more to come.
He had Wishnowski has 20+ miles an hour on that touchdown return. Does that surprise you? Like, were you surprised at his speed on that return?
No, he can run. He can run, and he hit it like he was running, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Obviously, you guys were without Armstead and Cartwright, but what was going on with the left defense?
I mean, I thought, just looking at it live, thought we missed way too many tackles today, which, and give them credit. They got a bunch of guys that are hard to tackle. I mean, obviously their quarterback is as tough as it gets, but they're skill players. They all can run. They're fast. They're back. They got a bunch of guys who create that stuff, but it was disappointing on the missed tackles. Always when you add in the running element of a quarterback, that gets some too. But we definitely didn't play the run good enough today, which I think was pretty obvious. But we came here with one thing on our mind, and that was to get a win, and that's what we got done. And now we got to make sure to clean that stuff up.
Brock and Christian have both been mentioned highly in the MVP conversations. I know you addressed that last week. Your thoughts on those two elite players and how you differentiate?
I don't have to differentiate, thank goodness. But I mean, there's been around a couple MVPs probably in my career, and these two are it's the most obvious thing to me. I mean, obviously I might be biased being on their team, but I don't think so. Just gotta, like I said last week, all you got to do is look at numbers, or you got to look at the film, and whichever one you say is more important to you, I think it's extremely obvious. And if they're both important to you, then it should make it even that much stronger. But those guys are playing pretty good.
Coach, defense did get some good pressure, sort of stood up, gave them field goals and not touchdowns. What can you say about the defense and how it played, and was it particularly Speaker's defensive coordinator? Because it's something of a homecoming for him too.
It's funny because I didn't think about that until you just said that. So maybe you'd have to ask him. But it's we talked about it a lot all week. They have too many good players. They run a really good scheme. There was going to be times that they got us, without a doubt. And our whole deal was when they get us, you just don't stop, hold them to field goals, and we feel we can survive the day. And I think we did that for the most part. Not to mention we got a pick six, which was huge. And I know the stat board doesn't look great, but our defense was a big reason why we won today too.
Last one, guys.
Christian, I can listen before 5 snaps on the same drive where Purdy got hurt. He was feeling his knee and everything. Were you aware of what was going on? I mean, it's unusual for him to miss more than 1 snap at a time. What was happening?
Yeah, I always know when he's on the field and not.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you know he was possibly dealing with an injury?
Yeah, I do. I did.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, I wasn't excited, but I mean, when there's a play clock going and you got to call plays, there's not that much time to think about it. You just want to know when he's out, and I think he took a few off. And sometimes when he takes a couple off to rest something, and it's never that he can't go back in. He wants to go back in. It's just we're kind of patient depending on what we're doing and trying our hardest to give other people opportunities, but it's extremely hard to do that with him.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.